Howdy, welcome back to another video. I wasn't gonna do a video on this, but I wanted to show you guys something as far as the construction of this shoe goes, which is pretty cool. So we're just gonna do a short little video, kind of tearing down, putting it back together, not super long. But this is a pair of Johnson Murphy's dress shoe split toe, and they've been resold before. You see the last cobbler signed and initialed underneath the heel. But you can see on the welt, he double stitched. So when you resole shoes, that stitching of a Goodyear welted shoe is supposed to, you take the old threads out, you gotta put new ones in. Like I've done so many times on this video, on this page. But let me show you guys something. Yeah, not Goodyear welted. Just a glue-on construction. So whoever this cobbler was, he sanded down the original soles, glued a leather sole on it, and stitched it from the outside. But you can see that stitch did absolutely nothing. It was just tearing off. It just tore off. So what we're going to do is very similar to what this cobbler did here. Well, not similar to what he did. We're going to replace the welts. We're going to put a new welt on. We're going to do a leather midsole. And that leather midsole is going to get Blake stitched to the shoe. Blake stitched means from the inside. So we're going to take this insole out. We're going to stitch that to the inside of the shoe. Then we're going to be taking our outsole, which this customer wanted the day-night sole, rubber sole. We're going to glue that on and stitch that from the outside. So kind of like what he did here, where he stitched the leather outsole to that welt, except our midsole is going to get stitched to the shoe from the inside of the shoe. That way, after I'm done with it, you won't be able to rip it off like I did here. I hope that makes sense, but I'll show you guys kind of the process. So at this point, we've got our welt on. You see, it's just glued on like the original soles were glued on. And don't worry about the color. We're gonna dye the whole shoe black anyway. So I just wanna make sure I got the shape right, which looks like you do. Let me grab this other one. It might be a little wider, but we could always narrow it down. But this is the first step. All right, put your welt on. Now we're going to fill this in with cork. There's not a lot of cavity that needs to be filled, but with that welt there's just a little bit of raise. So I'm gonna do a thin coat or a thin layer of like cork where there's little bumps. And then we'll go ahead and put a midsole, leather midsole on there. Once that's glued, then we stitch it from the inside of the shoe, right? Then after that, we put our outsole on, and then we stitch all three layers together. So you get a RapidBlake Stitch construction. I'm hoping this is making more sense to you guys. I'll keep you updated as we go along, but we're gonna fill this with cork and put a midsole on. All right, so we got it filled in with cork. There's just one layer, and I even sanded it down. There's not much that needs to be filled in, but that'll give it a nice even surface to walk on, and a good cushion as well. So we're gonna put our leather midsole on there. So we got our midsole on, we got it stitched in there. You can see the black threads goes all the way around the shoe, basically. Now we're ready for our day-night outsole. At this point, we could treat this shoe like it's a Goodyear welted shoe. Let's see, I want to make sure I get all the little studs lined up properly so that when I stitch them, they don't the stitching doesn't hit the studs. Trim it and get ready to stitch it. Beautiful. Remember, again, we're gonna dye it black, but so far not too bad. Now we stitch the welt that we glued on, that midsole that we glued and stitched on from the inside, and we're gonna stitch that to the outsole. So all 3 layers are gonna be stitched together, giving us a RapidBlake construction. Here we are. Soles are stitched on, countersunk into the sole. I did a nice tight stitch, like I don't know if you can tell, had originally. You want, I mean, the more stitches per inch, the better quality. I don't want to go with a wider stitch, so this will all be black, so you won't really be able to tell the details, which is kind of why I left it natural for you guys to see all the details. You can see that black stitch in there. That's the Blake stitch. That's the midsole stitch from the inside of the shoe. And then obviously that's the outsole stitch. So sorry I'm not being able to show you guys all I apologize for not being able to show you guys everything as far as stitching the shoes and stuff like that. I wasn't gonna do a video on this, so I wanted to show you guys this real quick. I don't have much time, but next step, we've cut some leather for some leather heel bases. We're gonna stack it up, balance it, put it on the shoe, and then do our final trim, clean, polish, dye, everything, and I will see you guys when these are all done. Alrighty, I've got a new face, and so do these shoes. We're all done. Not only do these look great, they are now super well built, sturdy construction. That RapidBlake Stitch construction is holding the soles on super tight. You don't have to worry about them falling off in the future. And when it comes time to resole these, all we gotta do is take the soles off, take those threads out, and then put a new sole on, re-stitch it. We don't have to worry about touching the midsole or the welts or anything like that. So these shoes are set to last a very long time. Let me grab you this one. If you guys remember, these were just a glue-on construction. I thought they were a Goodyear welted construction, simply because the previous cobbler stitched it from the outside like it was a Goodyear welt. But turns out they were not. So we reverted them, or constructed them into a RapidBlake Stitch construction, which you guys saw. Glue the welts on, Blake stitch a midsole on from the inside. Blake stitch just means inside, and then a outsole stitch for the outsole. So thank you guys for watching. This wasn't the plan for these shoes. I thought, like I said, it was a Goodyear welted shoe. We were still going to do new welts, midsole, and soles, but we had to get kind of creative with how we did it, because, like I said, I thought it was a Goodyear welt. Now it's RapidBlake Stitch. So thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Sorry I wasn't able to show you all the details as far as stitching and a little bit more of the recraft, and like I said, I didn't have time to really record all of that. So if you like this, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.